Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to this week's Wellness Wednesday. I've been going through and doing a lot of videos, more so kind of on difficult things that I have gone through because of the abusive relationship that I've been in, and that I was in. And today I want to talk about things that I have learned about myself. And part of the healing journey through all of this is truly learning about yourself. And I think for me, a very big goal was learning, where I was mentally and where I am now mentally compared to before when I kind of got into the relationship. So, one of the kind of first things that I seemed clear to me once I got myself out of the relationship is just like, well, what I went through really proves that I am much stronger than I give myself credit for. And I think that goes for probably a lot of things in most people's lives, and how most people reflect and look at themselves is that they never give themselves enough credit. And I know I certainly do even with my weight loss or other things, but just knowing, especially when I reflect back on things, how many things I went through when I recount different instances or times of even maybe not abuse, but just certain things that happened, and it's reflecting back on them and realizing that, wow, even though I may have perhaps been in a survival mode, there is something to be said about being able to go through it and coming out of it in a place of where I am not letting that define me. I am trying to use it as a tool to help others, to teach others to be a better person and to, ultimately help people. And for me, that's a very satisfying thing. That is something that brings joy to me and makes me feel like, even though that happened to me and even though I went through those difficult things, I know that I can help people. I know that I can help people be better, do better, become better humans. Additionally, onto that, I also cemented my knowledge for that I really have a hard time with loving myself and loving my body, but ultimately it's just like a respect. Having the love for yourself translates into respect. Very similarly to some of the first videos I posted, love is respect. And I believe that is the website for one of the domestic violence hotlines. And it is so true. But for me, it's learning that I need to respect and love myself. And that is something that I continuously learn and I'm trying to do every day. But it is something that I wish I obviously had more of, but I don't know if I ever would have been enlightened to the fact that I needed it so badly in my life if I wouldn't have gone through the relationship. And with all of that being said, it's definitely one of those things that I always go back and forth on, that I think probably a lot of survivors go back and forth on, of just like, this was the worst thing that happened to me, but it ended up being kind of the best thing for me. Like, I am now my best self. But I don't want it to be the negative things that always impact, how I've changed or what I've learned, but maybe perhaps that's a bit of what it was. Life is nothing but a bunch of learning lessons. It's just how you decide to learn from them and make sure that you don't make the same choices, make different choices, learn from yourself, learn from other people. I think it's just so important to never stop learning and to keep growing and becoming a better, more whole person. I also learned, and this was definitely part of the abuse of just being isolated, but how much my family and friends truly mean to me. How much that is so important for me to have, and I think just for anybody to have. Humans inherently are people that we have grown up as a society and as a civilization. You obviously can thrive a lot more and you can do a lot more if you have help of other people. And I think within that, for me, what I have learned is that it is okay to ask for help. And it is okay to have bad days and tell people. And it is okay to let yourself know that you need somebody, that you need help, that you need guidance, that you just want somebody to talk to. And I think there is kind of just this whole pride around, I can handle things on my own. But really, if you look at it, everybody needs help at some point. The people that have gone farthest in life have probably gotten help from others along the way, whether it be from a friend or a parent or whomever. Just relying on yourself is one thing, but when you get the advice and a different mindset looking in on what you're going through, I think that can be a really helpful and healthy thing when you're trying to kind of step back and maybe assess a situation. Also, throughout the abuse and during that relationship, I was robbed of my time and definitely outlets of creativity. I barely sang, I barely played music, I wasn't doing makeup, I wasn't doing things that I wanted to do, I wasn't doing things that made me an individual. And that's obviously all part of it. It is, stripping you of your identity and making you feel the lowest of yourself and the lowest of your form, but learning and seeing how much it means to me, how much pride and how happy I am and how excited I am to play with makeup or play my keyboard or just sing and have fun and dance around and do things that make me happy. And really, that is probably the biggest thing I've learned. Along with loving yourself and respecting yourself, it is truly learning how to be happy, being happy with yourself. I was not at a place of loving myself or being whole or being happy with who I was, and I entered into a relationship that I thought was giving me the validation that I needed. Yet it was all the wrong things that I needed. But I grabbed onto something because I thought it was better than nothing. I should have gone completely the opposite way towards looking into what I needed for myself, looking into how I could better myself, looking into the things to better who I am as a person. And I think, really, as corny as it may sound, but it is true, you are not going to be in a good relationship or in any kind of healthy relationship unless you are happy and fulfilled with yourself. Giving yourself to somebody else in a relationship really should be kind of a 50-50. But if you're not even able to provide your whole self to somebody in the best form possible, then what is the point? You are looking for things that, you probably lack. And trying to be happy with who you are, I think, is probably the most important thing that I've learned. And that certainly ain't easy. I will tell you, that is a very, very difficult thing that every day I try to find things that I like to do or things that make me happy, whatever the tasks or activities may be. But learning that and learning more about myself is something that is the most important, loving who I am and loving myself. And within all of that, I just want to help people. I just want people to know that it is okay to be alone. It is okay not to be with somebody. It is okay to take all the time you need to better yourself. I think this world we live in is definitely one where not only on social media and on, depicted on TV shows and in movies are people always happy or at their best when they're with somebody else. How often do you see people happy when they're alone, when they are just by themselves? It's not very often. And a lot of the time people, say like, oh, I found my missing half. Just like, I don't want to find my missing half. I am a whole person. I am a whole human. I can give myself and devote myself all of the energy that I need. Having somebody else with you exploring your life journey should be a cherry on top of the cake that is you. So this is to anybody out there. Go do something you love. Go have fun. Go explore. Do something you haven't done in a while. You know what I should do? I should set a goal to start charcoal drawing again. I loved charcoal drawing in high school. And, you know, exploring things that you love to do is just how you better learn about who you are. And it helps get out emotions, it gets out feelings, and it just makes you feel good. So I hope for you today, do something that makes you feel good, be happy, spread some kindness, share some smiles, and I just hope you have a great day wherever you may be and whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, guys.